Well, hey everybody, it's me, Dee Dee, on the DD channel. Hope you all had a wonderful Sunday. I had a pretty good Sunday. Actually, it was nice because Pastor did not totally bore me with Revelation again. I mean, I get it that the end of the world is coming, or maybe it's here, but I don't like hearing about negative martyrdom and all that stuff that goes on in Revelation and beasts and yeah, just not my thing. Anyway, he is concluding, well, temporarily taking a break from the book of Revelation. And next week, we're going to be learning, for the next 2 weeks actually, something about in the church, something about being part of the church. So that'll be more interesting. Anywho, I do have a topic tonight for a change. Yay, Dee Dee's catching on that she actually needs to bring something to the table if she wants anyone to participate. So I do have a topic. I've been looking through my old notes back in when I went to college for psychology class. And although some may say, well, it wasn't a legit degree because, after all, Kaplan University / Purdue is now in a lawsuit for all the lies they told us as students. And one of those lies was, oh, when you graduate, we'll help you find a job. We have places lined up with the employers for you to go and work as soon as you're done with your degrees. Yeah, there was nothing for me after I graduated. So, and many other people, some in even more intricate courses than I was. Hi, LB, I'm well. Thank you. How are you? So, yeah, that was a disappointment. But nonetheless, I did go through courses and I did have legit textbooks. So, I did learn a thing or two. So, you can take it or leave it for whatever it is worth to you. We are going to talk about stress and managing our stress. Some of you know I had a very interesting situation recently involving a legal matter. I'm not going to get into specifics because by now it's all over YouTube, I'm sure. But I have to say that it was definitely something that stirred up a level of stress. And stress can be good and stress can be bad. In this case, well, I would say it started out bad, and then towards the end of the situation, it was actually good because I am the type of person that no matter how bad things get, I can always find a learning experience in them. I can always find something that I was supposed to experience to maybe make me a wiser person, if not a better person. And I think I did that in this legal matter. So we're going to use that for my example of stress. Although, as I said, not getting into the actual details of the matter. So anyway, first of all, I want to welcome you all here. Thank you to everybody that is a member that is watching right now. Maybe you're not typing and that's okay. I get it. Some people just plain don't want to type or they're too busy to type. I get it. But thank you very much for supporting me, for being part of my membership. And I'm glad you're with me. And if I do see you come into the room and I see a little star near your name, I will call out and thank you personally. But if I don't see that, I can't do that, obviously. So, and I don't have everybody memorized that's a member in my room. But I am very appreciative of you. Don't ever think I'm not. All right, so there's 3 stages our body goes through in stress. And by the way, when I'm finished babbling on, I called this psycholobabble for a reason. I don't like the word psychobabble because I'm not a psycho, and there's nothing psycho about learning how your mind works. There's a reason why our mind does what it does. And sometimes if you know the reason it does it, you can actually work on helping with your issues and, coping and things like that. So it's important to know what your mind is doing and why it's doing it. So there's 3 stages the body goes through. Everybody's body goes through these stages when they are stressed out. And this is a result of what's called a stressor, something that stresses you, whether positive or negative. So the first stage is called the alarm stage. Now, you might have heard of something called fight or flight. Most people know what that is. However, the person that made fight or flight, while it is a great, depiction of what happens during stress, somebody named Hans Selye from Canada went a step further and dug a little bit deeper past the fight or flight response and went into what is called the general adaptation syndrome, which we'll talk about a little bit later after I lay some groundwork and foundation here. So the alarm stage is the fight or flight stage. So we'll go with that. Most people know what that means. When you're in a situation that's stressful, in fact, I said I'd use my situation. In the legal situation I was in, my heart started pounding, my throat was getting dry, I was getting nervous. For one thing, technology was not on my side that day at all, and that took quite some time before we could have everything prepared to handle things. So I was stressed out from that for sure. I was stressed out because I had a certain plan and it did not go the way I planned it at all. I was told to do things differently than what I had planned, and it just really befuddled me and stressed me out. Because when you're meticulous like I am, when you have to plan something and you have plan A and then plan B and little Roman numerals and little letters and numbers near them, and you have it all figured out, and then somebody throws a monkey wrench in and says, nope, we're not going that direction. We're going to do this instead. Can you give me this? And you're like all befuddled because you're like, well, that wasn't in my plan. That's not the way things were supposed to operate here. So yes, that can cause a lot of stress. So I have to be honest. I did feel a little bit of the flight side of things. Like, I'm just going to leave this situation. I'm just going to give up right now and am straight and be done with it. A couple times I felt like that throughout the whole situation, actually, not just the main time, but throughout. And I didn't flight. I guess you could say I fought in a sense, sort of. I don't know if you call it fighting. I suppose people would look at it that way. Okay, the next stage is called the resistance and recovery stage. Now, what resistance means is that your body is tightening up, your muscles are tightening, your heart is pounding, you're panicking, your palms might be sweating, whatever, in the stressor situation. But resistance means you're ignoring all that. You're going to just push through, plow through. You're going to go and do this thing that you need to do. Now, sometimes if you do that, you reach a state of recovery, which means you kind of calm down and you return to that pre-stressed state. However, if you are at your point where this stressor is so intense that you don't know what to do and you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just going to crumble, then you reach the third stage, and this is called exhaustion stage. A lot of us, because of the recent illnesses and things going on, because of losing our loved ones and things that we've gone through, maybe you've lost a job, maybe you started a new job. I don't know. Stressors can be positive or negative, like I said. Sometimes it just gets to the point where your adrenals burn out, and that's called the exhaustion phase. That's a bad phase to be in. That means you have hit overload, you can't take anymore, and your body is just like, I'm done. I can't anymore. I am just finished with this. All right. Let's talk a little bit about some definitions here. So stress is considered a non-specific response of the body to any demand made upon it. Doesn't matter if it's positive or if it's negative. So if you're starting a new job, obviously that could be a positive. It could also be a negative. You have to learn all new things, meet all new people, figure out how the computer works, whatever. So it can be kind of a positive thing to have a new job, maybe that pays higher, but the demand on you might be more. And in fact, to me, another word for stress would be demand, because a lot of times that's what a stress is the amount of demand is increased upon you. Okay, here's a positive stressor. My ex-husband is getting married soon, this month. It's positive because I love weddings. They're fun. I'm going to go to the shower too. That's fun as well. It's negative because it's bringing up a lot of feelings, a lot of feelings. Like, interesting. I couldn't handle living with the guy. What does she see in him? And has he really changed that much for the better? And why couldn't he have done that when I was married to him? All these feelings. So it's a positive stressor and yet a negative stressor at the same time. And I'm delighted that I'm invited to the wedding. I get along super well with his fiance, and I'm very happy for her. Very happy for her. I hope he has changed. I don't ever want to see him do to her what he did to me by any stretch. I don't think he will. I think it's a whole different ball game there. They're a lot older now, hopefully matured over the years on his end, and he'll treat her with respect because she's a decent person. She's a wonderful person. Anyway, okay, so physiological and or psychological state of imbalance from the body's response to any unanticipated, disruptive, or stimulating event, which isn't always bad. Now think about that. This is an imbalance. That's what stress is. It's rocking your world. So if you feel like you're shaky and you're rocking, it's probably your adrenals, because stress will tax your adrenals to the point where you're like, unsteady. Even in your emotions, you're going to be unsteady. So unfortunately, stress, pardon me, stress can be disruptive in your life. It can also be a stimulating event. Maybe you're going to a new church or a new group. Like me, I'm in the women's group at my church. I love it, but it's stressful because, again, meeting new people, learning their ways. I don't agree very well with a lot of the beliefs of the church, unfortunately. Yeah, small wonder. Dee Dee doesn't usually agree with most people's religious beliefs, including the church I go to. That's why I won't become a member. But it's still positive because I enjoy being there. I know that sounds weird, but the people at this church are phenomenal. You've heard me say that before, and it is really true. They're wonderful. So I enjoy their company. And I do enjoy talking about the Bible with them, or at least hearing their version of it. We're not going to agree on everything, and I'm okay with that. And I think this is stretching me a little bit and growing me, because I've had to be around people that I genuinely enjoy as people, but totally oppose what they believe. So yes, it's definitely a stressor for me. Now, a stressor can lead to dependency-related behavior. A lot of people that are stressed resort to addictions, drinking, drugs, other things, addictions, gambling, maybe attachments to other unhealthy people, different kinds of addictions, because stress evokes a response. It's making you super hyped up, super nervous, super overwhelmed, and you're looking for an out. You want to come back to this homeostasis where your body is functioning at calm level, even keel. So you're going to do anything you can to try to get rid of this icky feeling, this heart pounding thing, this stress, this thing that's making you tighten up. You want out. You want to end it. You want to quit it. You want something that's nice and smooth and, flowing nicely. Nobody likes to feel stressed out, obviously. So some people do resort to addictions. Obviously, that's not a healthy response, and it results in even worse stress in the end, because you're hurting people around you, you're hurting yourself, you might be hurting your job. You get it. Stress can also weaken your immune system. So a lot of times you'll be going through a stressful thing and you'll feel sick afterwards, maybe a long time afterwards. I think we saw that with the virus situation. It's a stressor on the body. It attacks whatever part of your body is the weakest. So basically, you're probably already under stress in a certain organ of your body, and in comes this viral army that just starts attacking that same thing that's already weak. For me, it was my lungs. I have exercise-induced asthma. It went right for my lungs, and that's where I felt it the most, and that's why I got so sick with pneumonia and just could barely talk and was having trouble breathing, because that was the weak part. That was my inner body that was already stressed and then got targeted by the virus. Okay, a stressor, what is it? A factor or event, real or imagined, that elicits a state of stress or leads to a stressed state. Always comes before stress. So obviously, in order to be stressed, you have to have a stressor, something that stresses you out, obviously. Individuals vary greatly in stress. I don't agree with that, Millennium. And I'm not blocking people if you want to ask questions about that. I don't agree with that. Time will tell about that. I do know that the true King of Kings, his name is Yeshua, or Jesus, if you want to call him that. He has a way of dealing with things that humans do not. And we'll just leave that in his hands because he knows what's best. That's how I look at that. Thank you for your question, Millennium. Anyway, individuals vary greatly. Hi, Sweet Wheat. Thank you for being a member of my channel. Individuals vary greatly regarding stress. So everybody perceives stress differently. People react to stress differently. There is a resilience in some people that experience stress that other people don't have. Now, some people could experience something that I went through and just be, on fire when they get out, just, woohoo, that was a great experience, whatever. And then I come along and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so stressful and so taxing and exhausting. It just depends on the person, really. It depends on a lot of factors like your upbringing or how you handled stress as a child and as an adolescent and a teenager and how your body's made and your brain functions and all kinds of things like that. Okay, there's something called Eurostress, E-U-R-O, like it sounds, Eurostress, positive stress, which adds enhancing dimension to quality of life. So again, there's something happy coming up, a wedding, could be a baby shower, could be a new job, could be you're going to get your hair done, whatever. That's Eurostress. That's positive stress. Could be college, could be a new exercise program, weight loss, having children, that kind of thing. Then there's distress. Distress is harmful, unpleasant stress that diminishes your quality of life. Disease, illness, that's unpleasant stress. Viruses, very unpleasant stress. To be a stressor, something must register in the cerebral cortex of your brain. That's where it goes. That's where it gives you the message. Ooh, this is stressful. So like we said, college. In college, there is an institutional expectation. It's called a GPA. Your general or your grade point average, I believe, is what GPA stands for. So mine was 3.73, I think, by the time I got my master's degree. That's not a bad grade point average. It's not 4.0, but it's pretty good. Academic expectations, your grades. Did you get a B on your test? Did you get a C on your test? Maybe an F on your test. That can cause stress. Financial needs. How much does everything cost for you? How are you able to pay your bills? Are you able to pay your bills? Something broke down. Can you take care of it? That kind of thing. That's a stressor. So as I said, Hans Selye, I believe he pronounced his name, took the fight or flight idea, the theory, and then focused on taking it a little farther, not just, okay, when we're stressed out, we either fight or we fly out of there. Now, Hans Selye said, I'm going to take it a little deeper. I'm going to talk about how we cope with it when it happens. Maybe we don't flight. Maybe we don't fight. Maybe we decide to stay and work through it. Okay, that is where the general adaptation syndrome comes into play here. What is it? The GAS. Sequenced physiological, I can't talk today, physiological response to presence of a stressor. Okay, well, we talked about that already, the 3 stages. Endocrine system. Here's what goes on during stress, just so you know kind of what's going on in your body. Your endocrine system is the main system that gets affected by stress. What happens is hormones are secreted into your bloodstream, and that gives you extra energy needed during a stress response. A lot of times they talk about evolution and running from tigers or lions or whatever. This is what happens. They got stressed and the body would shoot out hormones into the bloodstream to help them cope with the fact that they're being chased by a tiger. And they'd be able to do what? Run from them, probably, maybe turn and fight them, that sort of thing. Let's see. No, okay. The hypothalamus is your midbrain. That is the connection between the cerebral cortex and the pituitary gland. It's a bridge from the brain to the endocrine system, basically. I'm just telling you what these things are in your head. You can look them up or whatever. I'm not going to get all into that. Your pituitary gland is your master gland of your endocrine system. When you think about your endocrine system, think about the thing that makes you hyped up when you're afraid or stressed out. That's your endocrine system. That's where you have your thyroid, your glands in your brain, and that kind of thing. It produces a wide variety of hormones, and it's sent throughout the body. Again, more hormones. ACTH, adrenal corticotropic hormone, is produced by this pituitary gland, and it's transmitted to the cortex of your adrenal glands, those things that make you nervous and hyped up. It stimulates production and release of corticoids. You've heard of cortisol, right? Pretty sure that's kind of the same idea. When you are stressed out, your cortisol level goes through the roof. That's why if I know I'm going to be in a stressful situation, as soon as I'm out of that stressful situation, I need to decompress, and I will make myself decompress. So the most recent stressful situation, I came home and took an hour of a nap. Maybe it was 2 hours. I can't remember. But I made myself lay down. I put on my meditation tape, and I sacked out. I escaped. It was like, I just need to calm everything down. I had the worst headache. Honestly, if you could see what I went through physically that day, you would see me going like this and just, meaning I just want this over with, just get it over with. I just want to go home, take a nap, take a shower, relax, get out of this high stress environment. And I did. I came home, I took a nap. I felt quite a bit better after that nap, after everything just kind of went down, but I needed to do that. What if I had kept going? What if after that situation, I had come home and who knows, maybe get myself into another high stress situation? I would burn out. It would totally fry my endocrine system, my adrenal glands, and I probably would be sick. You probably would be seeing me broadcasting from a hospital. I know my body and I know my mind and I know how much I can handle. And there are some times when it's just way over what that needs to be. So I had to come home and just decompress. Okay. So your adrenal glands are paired triangular glands at the top of each of your kidneys. They produce corticoids. Okay, so I was wrong. Not in the brain, in the kidneys. The wrong side of the body. Go down lower in your kidneys. They produce epinephrine. And unfortunately, if your adrenals get burnt out, you very often can end with something like diabetes and nerve damage and other things. So you don't want to be in a situation of burnout at all. Thank you, LB. I try to bounce back, but some things are just way past the bounce back stage, and I just need to get out and decompress. Okay, your corticoids control your glucose, your protein, your fat metabolism. They control your energy levels. So if you have an overload of cortisol in your body, it's going to be very difficult to lose weight and reach your weight loss goals, which is why I avoid stuff like that as much as possible, like the plague. But sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Epinephrine is the same type of thing as adrenaline. Powerful adrenal hormone whose presence in bloodstream prepares the body for energy production and skeletal muscle response and movement. So, like I said, you're being chased by a lion. The epinephrine is firing. Those hormones are firing, telling you get the heck out of Dodge or turn and fight that lion. You're going to do either one because this epinephrine is shooting hormones into you, telling you move, go, run, something, turn and fight, move your hands, move your feet, whatever. You can imagine if you're not being chased by a lion, if your epinephrine and your adrenals are shooting off these same hormones, there's no need for it. And then you really burn out because there's nowhere to put that energy. There's no need for that type of energy. That's why you need to stay out of stress as much as possible, especially negative stress. So it increases in your metabolism, but giving too much epinephrine can cause a weak immune system. which causes pneumonia because it destroys your T lymphocytes, which are infection fighters. It will speed your heart rate. It will tax your heart and could cause a heart attack when your adrenals get taxed like that. This is why, even though epinephrine, which ends up shooting the hormones into the adrenals, this is why we don't give that to fat people to help them lose weight, because what it does is it overtaxes the endocrine system and can give them a heart attack. So we don't want that, obviously. Metabolic rate is the rate of intensity at which a body produces energy. Endorphins. Now, y'all have heard of endorphins. You know, when you exercise, you have endorphins for so many hours afterwards. Romance can produce endorphins, like oxytocin is one of the favorites. Even some dangerous people in relationships can produce oxytocin because they're exciting and intriguing, and we get excited about finding out more about them, even though they're toxic and dangerous people. Still produces that same hormone that does what? Draws us to them like a magnet, even though they're not good people. Got to be careful of that. That's oxytocin. The hard thing is, like, my daughter's dealing with somebody that's very narcissistic in her life. She's like, Mom, I can't believe I ever saw that this guy had anything good in him. He's just like really not a nice person. He's really angry all the time and lashes out. Well, he is very narcissistic, this guy. And why is she drawn to him? Why was she drawn to him? Oxytocin. He's exciting. He's a salesman. He knows how to sell things. He knows how to convince people of things. There's a draw to people like that. That builds up that oxytocin, stirs that up, that excitement in you, and makes you go towards them, even though they're not a safe person to be going towards. Why? Because oxytocin and other type of endorphins and other hormones like that are like opium. They're opiate-like in their response in the brain. So it's almost like you're addicted to a drug. They are narcotic-like substances. And they're produced in the central nervous system. And they are actually 200 times greater. The effect of it is 200 times greater than morphine. A lot of times they call it like a runner's high when you get these endorphins stirred up in you after like exercise and things. The effect can last like 2 to 3 hours. And it's like the best stress reliever you would ever have. So think about it. If you're finding yourself going towards a person that's toxic, but you're really drawn to them, and you're feeling this hormone surge that is relieving stress, it's like enjoyable to be with this person. Of course, you're going to keep going back for more. Of course. Same thing with any type of substance abuse. Yes, it does damage to your body. Yes, it's upsetting everybody around you. But while you're using it, it is de-stressing you because it's producing these hormones. Dopamine is another hormone, by the way. It's the reward hormone. I heard something recently about when you do a bad thing, when you're trying to lose weight, you eat something really naughty. It produces dopamine, which is a hormone that makes you do it again and again and again. Because even though you're kind of punishing yourself, you're triggering this dopamine response, which is kind of a reward hormone. It's like, yeah, do it again. You're going to feel good afterwards. But then you feel guilty afterwards. It's a vicious cycle. It's terrible, like any addiction. Endorphins also relieve fatigue. So you can see why a lot of times women who are in abuse situations will stay in the abuse because it's a cycle. You're drawn to the person like a magnet, but yet, and while you're with them, you feel kind of a sense of relief. Plus, when you're in a relationship with someone, it's the sense of the comfort of the familiar. So here you are in a relationship, you know what to expect. He might beat the snot out of you, but at least you know it's coming. It's almost like a uncomfortable comfortability, if that makes sense. So you keep going back for more because it's familiar to you. But it causes you stress. And what it does is it's subtly wearing you down. You don't even see it. Oh, I love cheese. I know. cheese is something that I will never give up cheese. I love it so much, especially melted so that it's like round like a disc and crunchy. Oh, love it. Okay, psychosomatic disorder. Let's talk about that. Physical illness generated by stress. So a lot of people think that they have an illness that's not really going to show up on any test because it's psychosomatic. It's, as they say, in your head. It's in your head, but it's also in your adrenal glands. Think about that. So next time the doctor says, oh, it's all in your head, tell them, nope, it's in my adrenals. It's in my endocrine system. It's not in my head. SAD is an example of this. Seasonal depression, seasonal affective disorder, I believe is what it's officially called. It's a stress-related disorder related to cold climates along with lack of sunshine. It's depressing. For some people, it's really depressing, and it messes with their hormones. So they have mood swings, and it was first diagnosed in 1987. Interesting, because that was the year I got married. So very interesting. And how do you cure it? You use a sunlight, whatever, to cure it. That's how you ease the pain of, or the frustration of it. How do we cope with stress? Well, stress management. Let's talk about stress management. How do you all in here, LB, Sweetweed, whoever's in here, tell me some ways you cope with stress, and then I'll tell you some other ways that you can cope with stress, and then we'll have an open floor for you guys to talk, because then I'll be done after I share a few more items on here. What are some of the ways you cope with stress? I already told you one of them. I take a nap or a shower. That helps a lot. Yes, low levels of vitamin D. Chocolate, there you go. That's a good one. Dark chocolate especially. Thomas DeLauer, he's like one of my very, very favorite intermittent fasting people. I was just watching a couple of videos from him all afternoon, and he does talk about low levels of vitamin D and how if you're going to be doing intermittent fasting, you need to be making sure that you're getting enough vitamin D. Right? Yeah, popcorn, sex, just not all at once. Yeah. I mean, God created sexuality. Now, I have my beliefs about when it's supposed to happen, but other people don't agree with those beliefs and they do whatever they want. One day we'll all know what the right way is. But yes, in the body, all of those things can bring relief from stress. So, physical exercise. It relieves muscle tension, frustration, mental fatigue. Now, the thing about exercise that I've been learning is that, especially aerobic, you don't necessarily exercise to lose weight, but it has a lot of metabolic exercise or metabolic relief and things like that. Okay, we will leave that message because yes, it is. And as far as I'm concerned, in the right context, it is. Anyhow, so it relieves frustration and mental fatigue. Relaxation training is another thing. Vitamins, yes. Now, Thomas DeLauer says not to take a vitamin like first thing in the morning when you're intermittent fasting and you're going to get ready to eat again. Not to do the vitamins because it messes with the autophagy that your body's doing, trying to reconstitute your cells, get rid of the older ones and put in the newer ones, the more recent ones. So basically, you go through ketosis and then you go through autophagy where the cells actually repair themselves. But if you put vitamins in there on top of it, apparently it messes with that procedure. So I don't want to do that. But yes, in a general sense, vitamins are important to de-stress. Okay, so what is relaxation training? Well, can be meditation, can be EMDR is kind of a good type of mental relaxation or coping mechanism. My husband went through that for a while. That helps a lot with really intense trauma. Definitely does, because what it does is EMDR simulates, copies the rapid eye movement back and forth that People that have been traumatized often do not sleep well, so they don't have that rapid eye movement, which is extremely important to recycling your body functions overnight. TM, transcendental meditation, helps some people. Prayer often helps me, just going and kind of hollering at God and stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave that between you and your hubby there, Caroline. I don't really get into like details in here about that stuff. It's kind of private. Anyway, so biofeedback is another way. Biofeedback is self-monitoring of physical processes by connecting yourself to a machine. And I don't really know how biofeedback works because I've never done it. But I know there's like little electrodes. Oh no, I understand, Caroline. I understand. There's little electrodes they attach, I think, to your chest or something. I don't know. If anybody knows about biofeedback, let me know, because I don't know exactly how it works. I just know somehow it signals something, gives you feedback about your feelings, your reactions, or something of that sort. Biorhythm? Yeah, biofeedback, I guess, rhythm. I've never heard of biorhythm. I've heard of biofeedback, though. What's that? Dietary. Eliminating or reducing caffeine. Oh, I believe that, LB, definitely. Reducing your caffeine, either in the form of tea or coffee, sometimes salt reduction, although if you're intermittent fasting, Thomas DeLauer says you need more salt, especially if you're over 40. So, but the right kind of salt, sea salt, pink Himalayan sea salt, that kind of thing. I don't go hog wild on salt anyway because it makes my legs swell. So, but yeah. Guided imagery. Guided imagery is like the Honest Guys videos that I watch, the meditation videos, where they do what's called a guided sleep talk down. They tell you to breathe in for 4, hold your breath for 5, and breathe out for 6. And then you do that a few times, and then you just breathe normally. And by that time, your brain and your breathing has already switched modes, and you're already relaxing, and you're starting to go into that deeper meditation stage where you can eventually drift off to sleep. But if you don't sleep right away, they talk you through waterfalls or beaches or whatever type of meditation you want to do. You just sleep and pretend your problems will go away. There you go. So guided imagery is visualizing yourself responding positively in a controlled fashion to a stressor. I think EMDR is kind of like a guided imagery type of technique. There's a few different ones that I know of. But yeah, that's a pretty good one. So anyway, that is all I have on stress. Anybody want to talk about that or other topics? Bring it on. Let's do it. I was just doing Just Dance a little while ago, and that was fun. I was doing a Hungarian dance, a couple of them actually. Those were fun to do. I can't exactly get down and do the little heel things that they do, but it was fun trying. Yeah, it was fun. What's a Hungarian dance? It's the ones where they go like this and they like stick their feet out to the sides and like they kind of squat down and do this little bouncy thing with their feet. Yeah, I can't do that. I would not probably get up again if I tried to squat down and do that. Yeah, that's hard to do. So I just do it standing up and kind of like put my heel out to the side. Anyway, on Just Dance, all you want to do is wave that controller around, or your phone if you use your phone. As long as it catches that you're doing the same movements as are on the Just Dance, then you're okay. I was going to upload the song Boom Baya, but I learned what the lyrics were, and Matthew was like, honey, you can't put that on your YouTube channel. I said, oh yeah, you're right, I can't. So I won't be doing that one. But I would like to do some more Just Dance videos for sure, eventually. Oh, excuse me. It's kind of hard because the quarters are kind of tight in there, in that room, in the back room that used to be the cat room. Anyway, other than that, we had our usual donut after church. Kitties are good. They're out running around somewhere. We had our donut after church, half of a jelly donut, half of a custard donut. And then came home and had a little bit more snackies. And then we had some chili. And I think this morning, I had a piece of bread with some cheese on it, some avocado. So yeah, I'm done eating. I finished eating around 6-ish. So now I'm going to try to shoot for 1 o'clock p.m. tomorrow to have my eating window again. No, not chili from a can. No. Well, actually, the original chili came from an envelope, not a can. It was like a health chili type thing. It didn't have any meat in it. Just a bunch of vegetables, and then I took a big bag of mixed vegetables with like, what are those peas called? Those little frozen pea pod pea type things. There's a name for them. I can't think right now what they're called. But those peas in the pea pod and some carrots and just a whole bunch of stuff like that, vegetables, and mixed that in there with them. It was very delicious. Chili powder, chili seasoning, yeah, all of the above. Kind of mixed it all together because I had gotten that chili envelope from the food pantry, and I'm like, well, let's just make that. We'll add some stuff to it. It'll be delicious. And then I found some quinoa, so I put some of that in there with it too. That was very good. And I drank some almond milk, and yeah, pretty much the score. Oh, I did have some eggs with a little bit of cheese in them. A slice of cheese. Chili on a cracker is delicious. I found, y'all, well, I didn't find them, but I think I got them from the pantry, actually. The best, and I mean the best crackers that are gluten-free that I have ever tasted. I love these things. I am addicted to them. I have to literally count out 5 of them at a time or I will go hog wild on them. I'm going to show you what they look like. I got to try not to eat them. They are called Crunch Master. They are a definite buy over. I will buy these again and again. They're so yummy. They taste good with stuff on them. They taste good themselves. They're crunchy. They are made with cassava root, organic coconut flour, tapioca starch, olive oil, sea salt, and garlic powder. So good. Oh, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So yeah, I actually can have one now, even though I'm fasting, because Thomas DeLauer said as long as it's like 5 grams of carbs, he doesn't care. You can eat it during your fast. So I guarantee you, since the serving size is 19 crackers, and I'm only having one, delicious. Cricket flour? Huh? What's cricket flour? Never heard of that, Caroline. I don't think I've ever eaten cricket flour either. I would not want to. But there's 24 grams of carbs in 19 of them. I never eat 19 of them. 1 gram of protein. Ew. Is there such a thing? I'm not surprised. Yuck. No cricket flour. That's gross. Not for me. It's keto. Ew. Good for it. I'm not keto. I definitely wouldn't be keto if I had to eat that. Actually, it was John the Baptist that ate locusts, not Jesus. I don't think Jesus ever ate a locust. Well, I mean, we don't know. We didn't live with him. I suppose they could eat anything for meat back then. Just looking at my phone real quick here. I always get all these pop-ups I gotta delete, and I forget to, and it makes my phone go slow. Organic crickets. I'm looking right now. I want to see if what you're saying is true or if you're just trying to get me going here. Nothing shocks me anymore in this world, honestly. Ew. Oh, gross. Oh, that's nasty. Ugh. That's gross. Yeah, there is a such thing as cricket flour, y'all. Yeah, I know it's high in protein. I will skip that. No. No. Nope. Not eating insects. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe if I was starving to death, I would, but I'm not, thankfully, and so I will not eat that. Yuck. Ugh. But thanks for bringing that to my attention that we have stooped to a all new crazy. I don't want to say low because I suppose, like I said, if somebody's starving, they could eat whatever. Not me. Although ocean spray, the juice is made with ground up beetles, so what's the difference? And we get colorings from the glands of animals. I guess, if we don't know we're eating it or drinking it, we don't think about it, maybe. We eat and drink so many things we have no clue about. That's really the truth. I know that. So I don't think about it. And I try to eat as close to the nature type stuff as I can. So like fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, as much as fresh they can be. I try to peel all my fruits now because of the pesticides and such. I get organic when I can afford it, but organic's expensive. Makes sense, Albie. I hear you there. Same. I don't want to buy store-bought juice either. Although I did buy grape juice because I need it for Shabbat. So I do buy that store-bought. Sometimes I'll squeeze my own grapes, but I prefer the store-bought one because it's just easier to dump it in the wine glass and be done with it. Okay, enjoy your pancakes, Caroline Thrasher. One thing I will say, which many people have said on here, when you meet somebody in person, is a very different experience than who they are online, especially on YouTube and social media type stuff. Very different. They look different, they sound different. They might sound big and bad in text online, and then you see them and you hear them and you're like, whoa, that's who that is? No, I never have, Caroline. Never have. Have you met her? Or anybody else from online? Okay. I have met people like years ago from online. And yes, they were very different in person. Every one of them was different in person. Although they all said that I wasn't, that I was the same in person as I am on here. Now, my husband says I'm different in person with him than I am on here. But there's other extenuating circumstances in that situation. So can't really go by what he's saying as far as that goes. Especially since every other person that's met me in person has said I'm the same. He's the only one that said I'm not. But nope, I have never met her. I have never met very many people on here at all. Just one love, and she's not around anymore, so I haven't met anybody else. Not just I'm different with him, he's different in general. He's different than the average Joe, as they say. Or is it the average bear? I don't know. Oh, we finally finished watching Nancy Drew, the last season of it. Most of the time I walk out of the room or I just turn my head, plug my ears. Some of it's really bad and I can't watch it. But I like the storyline of it. So I don't watch the gory parts at all. Ugh. And then we started watching High School Musical, the musical. That was fun. We're still watching that. We got a few more of those to go. It's pretty cool because they're at camp now. So it's interesting. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more done around the house tomorrow if it's cool out, and maybe even get outside and get some stuff done. Start putting some boxes into the Goodwill. So that's my plan for tomorrow. I am trying to extend my fast a little bit. I'm trying to go up to 20 hours, but I don't know how that's going to work. We'll see how I do tomorrow. No, the type of job I have is kind of on and off. It's not where I have to work all the time. No. I get lots of breaks and stuff. You've been decluttering? Yeah, me too. I've been organizing and decluttering, really. Trying to clean out drawers and stuff. Like today I went out to the shed and just started getting rid of clothes that I know I absolutely will not wear and haven't worn in the longest of times. And the thing is, even with winter, I don't wear a lot of hot clothes. Like this shirt, I'm sweating right now because it's so hot. I just wore it because it's pretty and it looks decent for the video. But yeah, I usually don't wear anything with long sleeves very much, even in the winter, unless it's chilly in the house. So I just want to get rid of a lot of that stuff. I have so many extra pairs of pants that just don't quite fit. And there's some pants that are like size 12 and 14. And I'm like, yeah, in your dreams, honey. So I have to be honest and just get rid of them because they're not going to fit me. Not unless some miracle happens and I suddenly become super thin, like within a short amount of time. And I'm not counting on that happening necessarily anytime soon. Yeah, sometimes, Caroline, I do like pizza delivery. I like to get the cauliflower crust ones or the thin crust. I love the thin crust because they're like wafer thin and they're crunchy. I really like that crunch with my pizza. But yes, I definitely use pizza delivery. I have something on my phone called Fetch. Maybe you have it too. It's a phone app. And every time you go shopping, you take your receipt and you take a picture of it and you put it into the Fetch app, and then you build up points. You can earn like free pizzas and free whatever, or discounts on things. I've been using that for a while. We did get a free pizza at one point. I think we only had to pay like a few dollars for like delivery or something. So that wasn't too bad. But yes, I definitely use pizza delivery. Sometimes we go to a place called Pizza Ranch too, which is really good. It's like a all you can eat type of buffet place. But as you can imagine, trying to lose weight, buffets are not my friend. But I do pretty good when I go there. I make sure I eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of salad. My favorite thing, though, at Pizza Ranch isn't the pizza. My favorite thing is the potato planks. Oh, I love those. They're so good. I do like their coleslaw, too. It's pretty good, but it's probably loaded in sugar and stuff. I'm not super particular. Like, when it's an eating window, I eat pretty much what I want, but I try to pattern things like when I eat things, what I eat when. So like I start out with proteins and things like that, and then I will eat my bigger meal after that. I usually only eat about a meal and a half a day. So, yeah. Anyway, you have a free pizza somewhere? That's cool. I probably do too. I haven't looked at my Fetch app in a while. So I'm sure I have lots of free things. In fact, maybe I'll do that tonight when I'm done on this live stream. I'll look up my Fetch information. Fetch rewards. It looks like this, a little doggy running. Like fetch, like you tell your dog to fetch a stick. I have 14,767 points. So yeah, I can get all kinds of stuff. I just need to read what rewards I have. What is Fetch? It's an online app. I have an Android. You probably get it on the iPhone too, I guess. It's just an app on the phone. You just snap the picture of your receipts when you shop, and then eventually, like, you earn points. And then see, mine is like 14,767 points. And then you go and you look in restaurants and you see if you have enough to get stuff. I don't have enough for anything right now. It looks like bummer. No restaurants for me. We got an Auntie Anne's. I got like, see the little yellow circles? That means those are earned, and you have to earn all of them, I think, in order to get anything worthwhile, really. Baskin Robbins. We don't even have a Baskin Robbins around here. That's the only problem. They have like restaurants that we don't even have out here in Illinois. So it doesn't do me any good, really. But there's other stuff you can get. There's retail, there's charities you can give to, there's pet stuff, sweepstakes, all kinds of stuff. You're cooking. Yeah, I love to eat out once in a great while. I prefer my cooking because I know what's in it. I know that there's a lot of junk in cooking at restaurants and stuff, a lot of oil, a lot of things fall into the vats that they're cooking with. Hold on a minute. My cat's trying to get in, I think. Maybe not. Maybe that's just my magnets out there on the screen. No cat. You want to go out, Kobo Man? Go ahead. Oh, he's going to go out for a while until it gets dark. Then he'll want to come back in when Daddy's here to play with him and stuff. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Yeah, we have people sometimes come into work and share stuff too. Anyway, guys, I guess I'll go because I don't really have anything more to share unless y'all want to talk about anything else. Thanks for participating. I appreciate it, and for listening. Hope you got something out of that. And hello to the future watchers of my live stream tonight. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy my little teaching about stress. I'm trying to find all my old notes from college and share some of those because it gives me something to at least have a topic instead of sitting here going, duh, why isn't anybody talking? It just made it a lot easier and more focused. So, works for me. All right, I'm going to get going. You guys have a great night. I'm going to go watch some more Thomas DeLauer information about intermittent fasting so that I'm prepared for, I'm doing the Monday, Wednesday, Friday one. So, yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here. Thanks for modding for me. As you could see, I probably was going to need a moderator for sure. People and their little antics. All right, you guys have a great night. Be blessed. Shalom. We'll see you next time.